Good afternoon, folks. Appalachian Cryptid Encounters here. So I got some footage to go through. I've not been able to make a video the past couple of days. Um, broke my ankle this past, last 10 days, so I had to contend with that. But anyways, to get back onto the channel here and get some content up, I'm going to show you this footage. I'll show you the video after we go to the breakdown through the images here. Look at that. He was behind a tree staring at me. So you can see half his face right there. It's looks like vegetation, camouflaging, but definitely there. Check it out. It's Sasquatch, folks. Right there. Now there's another Sasquatch I think that one's actually kind of leaning over. And there's a taller one standing up right behind him, and then there's a giant standing up behind them. We're going to go through all that. So this is the first image here, right? I could probably do a little enhancement. Try to get some of the detail out, a little more of the detail. Turn that up a little bit. Just try to lighten it up a hair. Alright. So when I lighten it up a little bit, you can see it kind of blurred out right there, but I don't know if you can tell, but look at this eye right here, right? That's the giant. So let me go to edit and go to markup, just so I can show you. So this is a full-size adult right here. But then back here you see this eyeball. Look at that big eyeball right there. A huge giant, and he's leaning over. His other eye's over here. So this guy right here is about 6.5 foot tall right here. Right? And then this giant is leaning way down, and his head is still at about the 6.5 foot mark. It's just amazing. Okay, we're going to go to the other image here. That one ain't coming in as good, but right here is one of them. I think there's a juvenile right here on top of him. And then it's just that one's hard to make out. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one. Then the one up here at the top there. A couple different ones in there. Okay, this is a little bit over to the right. So we'll go to mark. Well, first off, hold on a minute. Let me lighten that up just a hair. All right. Wow, look at that. Just amazing. I think there's one right there too. One up there. Yeah, there's a couple in there. Okay, look at this one. Look at that face. You can see him smiling. Look at them teeth. That's one of them on the back side of that. No, that's the same spot. He's just one of the larger Sasquatches is leaning and looking in there. So we'll go add it, turn up the exposure just a hair so you can see. Wow. So there's a little bit of red coming in there on the face and some greens. So here's the eye. Alright. There's the nose and the mouth. You can see his teeth right here. Pretty wild. Oh, shit. I forgot to take all the markings off. Let me just hit cancel, see if that does it. Pretty amazing stuff. So the video, wow, look at that one. So he's turning around there a little bit. Look at that. See his face, his white teeth. Wow. Got a lot of fur on his head there. There's a little bit modified, enlightened there a little bit where you can see. But what I thought was interesting here on this guy is if you look right here, here's a little hand, a little finger. That little baby Sasquatch is latched onto his nose, hanging onto his nose, being mischievous, playing with the adults. They do that a lot. You see them in footage. They climb all over him. But yeah, he's gripping his nose there. That's the, most likely that's the dad, large adult. There's another adult right up here. Right here is an adult. And there's the nostril standing up behind him. Wow, look at that guy's mouth. Look at that. It's amazing. That's a zoomed in picture of Sasquatch. Now this one was kind of blurry, so not a lot you can see there. You can see a face there in the middle a little bit. All right. Now look at this one. Now it's let me see here. Let me go to markup. So first off, you can see this hair right here. You can see the little juveniles right here, right? Then the bigger juveniles right here. You can see his eyes right there, his nose, his mouth. And then you got another one right here. Somehow, I don't know if his eyes are like that or what. Something like that. Anyways, there's several Sasquatches in there, in that footage. Thought that was pretty crazy. You could see the juveniles with the adult leaning over. Let's see here. Same thing with that one. You can see it's kind of blurry, so I ain't gonna spend much time on that. Wow, look at that one. He's got his nocturnal shade lens there across his eye, and half his face is green, so they got it He's got half his face painted green for vegetation. See what I mean? They're just masters of it. It's quite phenomenal, it really is. Let's see here. Here's another image of him. There's one a little bit closer. It's a little bit blurrier, but it's a little bit closer to him. So when you're taking pictures late at night in the pitch dark and you're walking and moving around, it's hectic sometimes to get a good image. You know what I mean? So look at this little baby right here. Let's see that. Okay, we go to edit. So here's one eye. Let's see. Here's one eye. His other eye's right here. He's got it closed. You see his little mouth right here. His hair. Little baby in the bush. But his hair is just so everywhere. It just distorts, you know. Pretty crazy. Um, Here was that video I made earlier. I'll let that play here for a minute. It's not been uploaded or nothing. So just watch it real quick. So I think there's like 5 in that family. In this small family here, there's like 5 of them. The 2 adults and a giant and 2 babies is what I've noticed in this little tribe of them. Now I think there's several tribes. They see my ground is right. It's in between 2 state parks. Then you got the main highway, which acts like a choke point. So it pretty much forces them down across my property. And so, yeah, that's what I think is, they're coming through this property and I'm able to, yell at them, hoot and holler, get them to look my way. And then they come over that way and get images of them. But that's basically what's happened. I think there's like 5 of them behind that tree, right, that set of trees right there. And I've seen them several times. I got plenty of footage of this little tribe, of this little part here. Um, Now the giant, he's a little more elusive. I got some images of him, and but back in my footage on my YouTube, I have this video that shows them making these blankets that they're wrapping around his leg, and it's in that video. You see it? It's pretty crazy. Here we go. Yeah, he moves around there quite a bit on that tree. Check that out. And there's a few of them back here. It's just so pitch dark out, man. It's just hard to get good clear footage, especially at night. And you got your camera all the way zoomed out, and you get as close as you can. And then by the time you look at that footage and you zoom in the distance on your phone, it pixelates every damn thing. So you have to deal with that. Plus, you have to deal about shooting at night because uh, shooting your footage at night because they're a nocturnal being, and although you will see them in the daytime moving, but for complete tribe movements and stuff like that, they move at night where they have advantage. And but when I had my first encounter, it was like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the evening, somewhere around there, 3:30, 4. It was in the evening time when I had my first encounter. But most of the time that I interact with them is during the night. Let's see here. Look at that. There's one there and one right up above him. Check that out. Look at the green forehead on the one up above him here. That's wicked. Yeah, it's crazy. Look at that bushy hair. Some of them, their facial expressions is pretty telling sometimes. You can see the one that snarl, and they got a pissy attitude, kind of. Some of them are smiling and waving back. I've seen a variety of different Sasquatch. Some that are nice and kind, and some who are grumpy and pissed and just don't like humans that much. But for the most part, they're just kosher, and they just don't want to be bothered, want to be left alone. But I think they're intriguing. I think they're highly intelligent. You know. Um, Somebody asked me the other day. They said, uh, why is the Patty Gimlin footage? Why is that the best footage that we can get? And then the technology's gotten better, and people having blurry footage and shit like that. So I responded and said, well, Sasquatch had the best footage come out in the 60s, right? Patterson Gimlin footage. And then the reason why that footage was so good is because Sasquatch had not encountered cameras before. They had not encountered that technology, image taking technology. So that's why Sasquatch was caught in the Patterson Gimlin footage. But they're an intelligent being, they live around towns and stuff. They've seen all these CCTV cameras and stuff, and they know what IR is. It lights up for the infrared, seeing in the fourth dimension or whatever it is in the IR. They know what all that stuff is. So, and then by word of mouth and as much as these beings travel, it didn't take long at all for it to spread across across the country what cameras are. So they're learning just like we are. And that's why you're not getting good footage, because they've had time to adapt to our technology. And they're not stupid. And so you have to be smarter than the Sasquatch if you want to interact with these beings. There's some other things that you can do to better your chances of interacting with the Sasquatch. Um, and for one, don't ever brandish some kind of firearm or weapon when you're around them. Don't give off any kind of hostile vibes at all, because they can sense all that stuff. And you know, and that's not just supernatural. That's just alpha mentality, basically, predator knowledge. And so, yeah, I mean, they are highly intelligent, man. I've I've dealt with them and different tribes. They got their own different personalities and stuff like that too. Um, the ones who used to camouflage a lot. Some of them are not camouflaging at all. Yeah, they might stand behind a tree now, but they're not blurring themselves in any way with fur. Those blankets and things they make, or staining their skin all the time with tree fluid to dye their skin, like that Sasquatch you just seen there, where it had that green across his face right there. That's camouflage, man. Masters at it. Um, but yeah, that's why it's hard to find good footage on Sasquatch unless you can surprise them. Rarely, but you can surprise them. And the way they got those nocturnal lens shades that come across their eye. Um, like if you got a trail camera up, that infrared, that lens, that night vision lens they have, that nocturnal lens, it can see in the IR. And that's why sometimes in the footage you'll see they got one nocturnal lens on one eye, and one of them they won't have it on. Um, and so they'll be able to see, the nighttime plus the IR, and know the boundaries, and that's how they stay out of your footage. But here's the beauty of it. So if they can see your IR and they're skirting around it, around the perimeter of it, so what you would do is you would get multiple IR cameras and overlap the IR distance range, right? Overlap it by about 5 feet, so it'd be 180 degree coverage, and then like a fan, right? The distance. Then at 175 feet, put you another camera up, and at night when it's walking, you can use the IR as a way to tunnel it down into a certain area where you could be set up with all kind of cameras and lights and whatnot. And just because they can see the IR, you can still use that IR as a way to move them right down into your area, and you can still track them and have an experience that way. So I just have to outsmart the being. But anyways, this footage is getting kind of long, so let's see here. That footage is about done, and then I'll put up a part 2. This video is like an hour long, so anyways, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Peace.